Welcome to the Spotlight on Sherburne Business. This program is sponsored by the Sherburne Business Association in conjunction with Dover-Sherburne Cable TV. I'm Dave Sorter from the Sherburne Inn, and today the Spotlight is on Dr. Daniel Glickman, owner of Sustainable Construction Services and a green building specialist. The purpose of these interviews is to familiarize all of us in the Dover-Sherburne area of the wonderful talents and wide variety of businesses there are in Sherburne, and to create a network and familiarity between Sherburne business people. The Sherburne Business Association is a home for more than 40 businesses. Welcome, Daniel.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. You have a very interesting background, which I have been most interested in. Could you tell a little bit about your background and your educational situation to everyone?
Sure. Well, now I live and work in Sherburne. I own a company here with my wife. But I grew up in Israel. I was born to an American mother, and I grew up over there. So I grew up speaking some Pidgin English with an interesting perspective. After I graduated from a master's degree in environmental sciences, I started a PhD in Toronto. When we came to this continent, we saw the wonderful quality of life that's here and how different it is from a more desert country where the resources are few. And over there you have solar hot water. You can't afford to heat with electrical the hot water all the time, so you take showers in the evening after the heat of the day heated the hot water. And here, just take a shower whenever you feel like it. So that immediately showed me that there's a wonderful quality of life here, and it's a wonderful opportunity, and I would love to keep it. But it also appeared unsustainable, the amount of waste. There has to be a way to do it better, and that's one of the reasons why we got into green remodeling and green construction.
Well, that is why you got into green construction, but what actually is green construction?
Well, in short, there's a long answer, but the short answer is it's environmentally responsible techniques and materials, energy efficient homes, and perhaps one of the more important, it's healthy homes, less of an impact, lower toxicity, good air quality, etc. And nowadays we're also starting to introduce some social responsibility into it, making sure that the people who are handling the materials in the manufacturing plant were treated well, that they weren't exposed to toxicity, no slave labor, and so on.
In Sherburne, you're involved in several organizations. I know one of them has to do with energy. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, that started out with the Sherburne Climate Action Group. It was a small group of activists that I invited to my home one night, and we decided to lobby the town to try and become a green community. When we went to the town said, the selectmen said, well, great, now you are our town's energy committee. So eventually we relented, and somebody said that I should be the chair, which basically means that I get to take all the credit for the amazing work that the committee members do. We've gotten the town to become a green community, and we've got some grants for energy efficiency projects, and that work is ongoing.
Well, I've heard a little bit about that, but one other thing that I heard about is that you were recognized as one of the 50 best remodeling companies in America. Now, does that have to do with green construction, or is it just remodeling of any kind? Or tell us about that.
That was a very interesting and somewhat surprising nomination. Remodeling Magazine started this many years ago as they looked at the 50 biggest companies in the United States, assuming if bigger means better, that they're successful because they're good. Eventually they realized that you can have a small business that is far better than a bigger business, and they changed it to the 50 best companies. They had an extremely rigorous criteria. We went through a long process. They interviewed our clients. They wanted to see customer satisfaction. They wanted to see the quality of work we do. They went through our books, wanted to see our how we treat our employees and what kind of benefits they get. They wanted to make sure that we have the financial resources so we don't go bankrupt in the middle of a client's project. So all of these things, and when we made it, we were very honored. It's a lifetime club, and
well, congratulations. I think that's a great honor for sure. Sustainable Construction Services, do you have a web page, and where are you based? Where do you work from? And can you give us some idea of how to contact you?
Yeah, we have an office in Sherborne off of our house. It's one of our philosophies of keeping our overhead low. It's at 35 Woodland Street. And our web address is sustainableconstructionboston.com. And one can contact us by phone at 508-653-7274. Can set up an appointment to come see our office. We have a little library of materials, all kinds of resources that we use when clients come over.
You are an owner of Sustainable Construction Services, but I understand that there is a real boss to this corporation. Is that a woman called Amelia, and could she be your wife?
I'm busted here. Yes, Amelia is a true talent here. It is a team effort, definitely. She does all the designs, and she is also responsible for implementation. And she's actively the CEO and runs all the operations, and is very, very talented at that. I do most of the interaction with the initial interactions with the client, develop the project. I do a lot of the building sciences and the energy efficiency work, and I follow up to make sure that the client wishes are fulfilled. I'm the guy that, more idea guy, and she's, she gets things done.
You're the front man, I get you.
Yeah.
What different specialties are there within the remodeling industry, and where do you fit into this equation?
The industry is actually very varied. Most people think of contractor as one thing, but in fact there's so many different specialties out there. Ours is a turnkey service. We're a full-service company. We start from day one of planning through the design, permitting, construction, through warranty and maintenance. And of course, as our name suggests, our focus is around green remodeling. Not all our clients are green. We're not in the business of telling people how they should live their lives. We're in the business of making people's lives better. This is a tool to do that, and this is something we believe in, and it's important to us. But from a business side, it's more of a tool to ensure quality, to ensure that people's lives are made better, really.
How long have you been doing this?
We started out in 2001.
So you're about 10 years old?
Just about, yeah.
Are you or one of your employees the project manager?
Yeah, every project gets a project manager. If it's a smaller project, then it would be the lead carpenter. If it's a bigger project, then Amelia would be supervising it directly. I'm still involved throughout the process. We try to make it personal. We try to meet a lot with the clients. Some people have more time than others, obviously, so we try to customize it. But that's a major part of a successful project.
Do you have your own employees, or do you use subcontractors?
Well, both. The industry in general has shifted dramatically in the last 10 years towards outsourcing, and we're not an exception. But obviously, skilled tradesmen have to do their skills, but they need the supervision, the specifications, the quality control, the scheduling, all of that done. And of course, a lot of work has to still be done in-house. It cannot easily be outsourced. So it's a combination of the two. In
your design and planning of a project, how does sustainable resources fit into your equation? How do you use photovoltaic panels for energy? Do you use wind? Do you combine them with oil and regular ways of heating and lighting and so on?
Well, yes. Our task when we're working on an existing structure is slightly different than when you're designing a dream home. We sort of have the luxury of saying, okay, we have an existing condition. So the question we ask is, within the budget that is available to the client, what are the most sustainable solutions or the most cost-effective solutions, whatever is their priority, that can fit in that budget. Oftentimes we find that because we're working with an existing structure, trying to retrofit photovoltaics or geothermal or wind doesn't really work to their benefit, because there's already a system there, there are trees, etc. So less sexy solutions often come into play first. Very high levels of insulation, all kinds of windows, treating the systems, treating the whole house as a system, not looking at one component at a time, is really the way to do this successfully.
If I were a client and I picked up your name either through your own marketing or through your own advertising, how would I get in touch with you? And do you have your own architects? Would you supply the services from beginning to end? You said you were a turnkey operation. So if I were a client and I said I have an idea, take it from there.
Yeah, so the first questions we have are, what are your needs? What do you want? What are your dreams? What do you really want to get done? And we try to devise, during the discovery process, define what the scope of work will be. Are we going to build an addition? Roughly what size? Are we going to move the kitchen? Are we going to, if it's a smaller project, are we just replacing and putting in exactly the same way? What exactly is the scope, and how will that better your life? Rather than start designing right away, end up with a design that who knows what it's going to cost, or who knows what it even really is, because it's not very detailed, and then find out that it's too expensive or what have you, or not feasible, and go back to the beginning, which is a very common problem. So we try to define the parameters of the design first with the client, then go through the design phase. By the time the design phase is done, all the selections, all the details are complete, so there's a fixed price, no variables, and that's guaranteed throughout the project unless the client comes in once.
You get all the permits, don't you, from beginning to end?
Absolutely, yeah.
And how about workman's liability compensation? Do you have your own, or?
Yeah, of course. We are required to by law, but there are a few things that are, this is a very boring topic typically, but it's actually a very important one, because the liable party in a case of a claim is, first of all, the contractor, but if the contractor is not there, is out of business, didn't have the proper insurance, the liable party is actually the homeowner. So keeping very, very meticulous records, making sure that we have the exact subcontracts with our subcontract, all of these are critical for not only protecting the homeowner, but also protecting our warranty. So in case something was beyond our ability to take care of in a warranty claim, the insurance kicks in.
I see you brought a book along. Is that a completed project, or is that something that you can show the audience?
Yeah, this is actually a project we did. This is a LEED certified Energy Star conversion of a carriage house into a modern garage with a dwelling unit on top. So it does. Also, it's not officially historical, but it is somewhat of a landmark, and it was very important for the homeowner to keep as much of it as possible and the characteristics. So it was a beautiful, a gorgeous project, and the heating bills on that property are estimated at about $130 a year.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You have, I'm sure you have lots of local references in the Boston area, so if anyone wants to see some of your projects, they can visit you on your website?
Yes, they can visit the website. They can come into the office. We also have a book, of course. And oftentimes, previous clients love to invite people home and show them the project. That is, it's kind of fun. Yeah.
Well, it's been great getting to know you, Daniel, and it's really fun to learn more about construction with sustainable energy and sustainable materials and non-toxic materials, and there's so much more that we can talk about. But I think that's enough for today, and I really appreciate you coming in and sharing your business with the community. This program is sponsored by the Dover-Sherburne Cable TV Company and also by the Sherburne Business Association. You can visit the Sherburne Business Association's webpage by going to www.sherburnbusiness.com, and you will find more than 40 businesses that are listed there, and see what you can use and see the many businesses that can help you in the care of your needs and projects. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.